We spend so much time preparing what to say, even rehearsing how to order coffee. But here's the truth. There are moments when saying even a single word can cost you your reputation, your dignity, or even your money. Today, I'll reveal 10 situations where silence isn't golden. It's survival. Let's begin. Number 1. Calling a waiter. Okay, this one's personal. Once upon a time, I went to dinner with a colleague. Let's call him Mr. I've never seen a cloth napkin before. We'd finished eating, ready to leave, but the waiter seemed busy and hadn't noticed us. No big deal, right? A few more minutes, maybe a discreet glance. Patience, dignity. But my colleague, oh no. He decided to take matters into his own hands. Suddenly he snapped his fingers. Sharp, loud, like he was calling a dog across the yard. The entire restaurant froze. Heads turned. The waiter looked wounded. And me? I wanted the earth to open and swallow me whole. I was mortified, genuinely debating whether faking a fainting spell would be less embarrassing. Here's the thing. You don't need a Broadway performance to get a waiter's attention. A little eye contact, a subtle nod, maybe the faintest raise of the hand. Done. Quiet respect. Nobody cringes. Because when you snap or clap, you're not just calling the waiter. You're announcing to the entire room, this is my very first rodeo. Restraint in those moments doesn't show ignorance. It's composure. Number 2. Correcting on the spot. At a birthday party once, I watched a man walk up to the hostess, bouquet in hand. Sweet gesture, right? Except he hadn't taken the flowers out of their crinkly shop wrapping. He leaned in to greet her, flowers rustling like a plastic bag, and honestly, it was still charming in its own awkward way. But then, from across the hallway, his wife, still struggling out of her coat, yelled, "Take the paper off! Take it off first!" The whole room turned. Suddenly, instead of a kind moment, it became a scene. The man froze, fumbling with the wrapping like it was a bomb about to go off. The hostess stood there, unsure whether to laugh or help, and in that instant, what could have been a warm gesture became painfully uncomfortable, not because of the paper, but because it was announced. That's the thing. Small mistakes don't destroy you. Words about them do. Discretion, on the other hand, lets kindness shine through the clumsiness. Number 3. Pointing out flaws. There's always that moment. You're at a dinner, laughter bouncing around the table, wine glasses catching the light, and then, disaster in miniature, someone smiles, and you spot it. A fleck of spinach, dead center. You see it. They don't. And the suspense is unbearable. The worst part? There's always that one person who can't resist announcing it like a breaking news alert. "Hey Brenda, you've got something in your teeth." And suddenly, poor Brenda isn't the dazzling storyteller anymore. She's the woman with spinach. Everyone's staring. Meanwhile, the more restrained ones sit in silence, pretending not to notice. It's excruciating, isn't it? That tiny green leaf becomes the only thing anyone can see. And the whole table learns something very quickly. Tact means knowing when not to point out the obvious. Number 4. Gossip circles. Gossip is seductive. Leaning in, whispering, adding your own little detail. It feels like inclusion. And here's the trap. The second you add your sentence, you're stuck in it. You're now part of the whisper, your name attached to theirs. And eventually, someone always tells. The circle breaks, and suddenly you're remembered not for your outfit or your wit, but for the line you added to the gossip stew. Number 5. Respectful silence. I once sat at a wedding where the father of the bride stood up, trembling a little, raising his glass. Everyone leaning in, waiting for the first words. And just as he opened his mouth, 2 people at the back started whispering about bride's dress. It happens everywhere. During a funeral when someone's phone buzzes and they answer with a hushed, "Yeah, I'll call you back." During a national anthem when someone giggles, as if reverence is embarrassing. Even at graduations, you've got families craning their necks to hear the name, and someone nearby decides that's the time to ask if anyone wants coffee after. What gets me isn't just the noise. It's how brutally it steals from the person in the spotlight. A toast becomes background chatter. A eulogy becomes noise wallpaper. And the person speaking, the one bearing their heart, can feel the room slipping. And this is where most people slip. They think noise makes them visible. In a moment, I'll show you why silence can actually make you more powerful in a room full of voices. Number 6. When you're insulted. This one stings. Someone makes a jab about your clothes, your age, your job. Your tongue burns with the perfect comeback. But here's the trick. Silence leaves them naked. Clap back, and it becomes a duel. Stay silent, and it becomes their embarrassment, not yours. Number 7. Negotiations and money talks. In money talks, silence is a weapon most people are too nervous to use. Picture a negotiation. The offer is placed on the table, clear and firm. And then, nothing. No softening, no babble, no nervous. But of course, we're flexible. Just silence. The seconds stretch. 10, 15. By 20, the other side is shifting in their chair, drumming fingers, clearing throats. By 30, someone usually caves. Well, maybe we can adjust. That's the invisible pressure of silence. Once words stop, the tension doesn't vanish. It multiplies. And the person who breaks first often loses ground. But silence isn't only a tactic for power. Sometimes, it's grace. When numbers are heavy, salaries, inheritances, life-changing sums, filling the air too quickly feels cheap. The people who know how to hold a respectful pause give weight to the moment. They let the number land. They let it matter. Because in negotiations, words haggle, but discretion wins. Number 8. When you're outclassed. Picture a dinner where the cutlery outnumbers the guests, or a boutique where shoes sit on velvet pedestals. What do most people do? Nervous chatter. They over-explain why they don't usually wear suits, or tell long stories about budget airlines. I've done it. Once I nervously explained to a stranger why I don't eat raw fish. Why? Who cares? The elegant move? Observe. Absorb. Stay composed. The less you say, the more mysterious and confident you seem. Number 9. Awkward pauses. This is everyone's nightmare. You're on a date or in a meeting, and the conversation stalls. The silence stretches, and panic sets in. So you fill it with nonsense. So, crazy weather, right? But the refined, they don't flinch. They sip their drink. They look calm. They let the pause breathe. And eventually, the other person fills it. Because only insecure people fear quiet. Number 10. Alone. But not really. Here's the new one most people don't realize. Sometimes silence is elegance when you're alone, but actually in public. Like my old neighbor, who would whistle in the elevator. Full symphony. Trapped in a metal box. It was less Sinatra, more terrified rabbit. Or the person narrating their grocery trip out loud. Okay, bread aisle. Oh look, cereal. No, wait, I don't need it. Nobody cares. Nobody asked. Or the sidewalk talker who loudly narrates, oops, wrong way, as if strangers are their audience. Elegant people don't narrate life in public. They edit themselves. Because silence here doesn't just save you, it spares everyone else. Restraint isn't awkward. It isn't weak. It's quiet authority. It saves dignity, creates mystery, and instantly signals class. So tell me, which silence do you find hardest? Drop it in the comments, I want to know. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you're already thinking of gifts, my curated picks are linked below. As always, stay classy, manners matters.